Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Kings of Legacy show. Super pumped for today's show. I'm excited to have you here and to talk about this stuff because it's popped up several times recently, and hopefully this lands a great time for you. How to overcome self-sabotage and find balance in your life. So, do you feel at conflict with yourself? Have you ever felt at conflict with yourself? Have you ever thought to yourself, oh, this part of me wants this, or this part of me wants this, and they seem to be opposing? So, this is one of those things that it pops up over and over again, and I just don't feel like I've touched on it during this show before. And I've found that over the last couple of weeks it's popped up numerous times. So I'm like, you know what, let's talk about this today. So this normally happens when someone has figured out that they want to make a change, some kind of change in their life, and they've started to take actions that will lead them to the outcome that they want. For example, they want to lose weight, so they start going to the gym. They want to improve their marriage, so they start locking in like quality date nights and quality time with their wife. They want to improve their business, so they start like ramping up the marketing side of things. And they're all great initial steps, right? But then shortly after, they've had that initial behavioral change, which is still being done on a conscious level, they notice that some undesirable things start happening. So they'll start to snooze the alarm and miss the workouts. They'll stop prioritizing the date nights and they'll have non-booked in the future. They push any form of marketing to the bottom of the pile of things that need to be done in their business. So what could that be? What could be happening here? They've identified a problem. They found something that could help lead them to the solution. And then all of a sudden, they seem to be self-sabotaging themselves from getting there. Has this ever played out for you? Has this ever played out in your world? If it has, do not worry. It's extremely common. And I want to shine some light firstly on what could be happening and then some potential ways that you can overcome it too. So let's just go a tiny, tiny little bit deeper here. What's behind these inner conflicts? I want this, but I also want this. And it's kind of the opposite, right? Have you ever felt that? I want you to come with me and enter this fascinating world of a parts integration in NLP. And you see, our minds are intricate and they often contain conflicting desires, like two parts that are just pulling you in two completely, sometimes what feels like two completely different directions. Now, let's explore some common inner conflicts that many people face, and these can range from like procrastination versus ambition, or seeking comfort versus embracing growth. Recognizing these conflicts is the first step to actually resolving them. And I once faced some inner conflicts related to my work, and I felt torn between my dedication for my business and the need for quality family time. Got a young family and they needed some quality time with me. And it took like a severe amount of like introspection. So me figuring out my own mental and emotional processes and the use of a parts integration to find the balance that actually worked for me. And to figure out essentially on a higher level that both parts of me wanted the same thing. I just needed to be guided up to that higher level of understanding to be able to see it and for it to really land. Like, why did I want to be dedicated at work? Like, what did that actually give me? Chunking that up. What did that give me? What did that give me? Gave me money? Did it give me... What else did it give me? Did it give me fulfillment? What else did that give me? Did it give me happiness? And just keeping going higher and higher until I got to the highest levels of like happiness, and I think fulfillment was quite high as well. Then doing the exact same thing for what seems like the opposite. So quality time with the family. What does that give me? Chunking all the way up, asking the same questions like, what does that give me? And what does that give me? And what does that give me? Until I got to very similar words of like happiness and love. And then having that moment of realization that at the highest level, both of these parts actually want a very similar thing. Boom. Amazing. Parts integration for me, it's one of my favorite NLP tools, and I've seen like so many life-changing moments happen with them. But now, guys, if you're listening to this, this is your turn. And I encourage you to reflect on your own life. Can you identify any like recent inner conflicts that you've been having? It could be something as minor as like just snoozing your alarm and not getting up when your alarm goes off for the first time, or it could be like a really substantial thing like a career change that you've been contemplating for a while. A few episodes back, you may have tuned in for this one, but we discussed the concept of love languages, and sometimes fulfilling your partner's love language can align with your own inner conflicts, or it might not. And I recall a client who thought helping his wife with the chores around the house was essentially his way of showing love, like an act of service, but it wasn't resonating with her. But through parts, we did a parts integration, we found a much better balance for him between his own needs and the needs of his partner. And it's been a big game changer for him. And in wrapping up today's show, guys, and today's episode, remember that inner conflicts are like much more common than you think, and they often hide under the surface, like manifesting in seeming like trivial arguments and self-sabotaging behaviors. But by understanding and embracing parts integration, you can begin to navigate these conflicts and find harmony and, I guess, peace within yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you found this episode helpful or thought-provoking, please hit that follow and subscribe button, and maybe even leave me a review. That'd be really appreciated. Your support helps me reach more people and helps me have that positive impact on the world. Until next time, remember, fuck small talk. Life's too short for it. Let's keep these conversations real and have an absolutely amazing day.